Good afternoon and welcome to Real Wealth Network's weekly webinar. I'm Kathy Fedke, actually coming to you live from Tampa, where we have our East Coast property showcase this weekend. It is a balmy 80 degrees and pretty fantastic. I hate to complain because I'm from California, but yesterday there was ice on my deck, and we just really honestly don't know what to do about ice in California. So anyway, I'm in Tampa today and it's 80 degrees. But we've got the developer of our Rise Costa Rica project, David Comfort, calling in from Costa Rica, where it is just as lovely, I'm sure. So welcome, David.
Thank you so much, Kathy. Yes, it is absolutely gorgeous down here, as always normally.
Yeah, so anybody who's feeling like that's no fair because I'm sitting here in -0 degree weather, I want to let you know that you too can be in either Tampa this weekend, come to our event, or come on our tour in Costa Rica, which will be at the end of March. We're going to go over some details. It won't probably be as cold here in America in March, but it'll give you something to look forward to if you want to go check out the project and see all the accomplishments that have been made there. We actually have two of our regular investors, two of our Real Wealth Network investors who are visiting the site as we speak, and I think they're standing right there with you, right, David?
Yeah, we're all up here, and yeah, so happy to host Kevin and Mary. We've been having a great time, and it's been a wonderful way to introduce them to the project that they've been invested in from the start.
Well, I wish we could do a FaceTime live, but I'm not sure we're that sophisticated here, although it probably isn't that hard. We'll do it next time, though. But can we ask them a few questions about their experience?
I would love that. I'm sure that they would love to share what their experience has been like, and it's great, this divine timing to have them here at the same time as this webinar.
Wonderful. Well, hey, Kevin and Mary, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, wonderful. Well, shoot, I wish I'd known you were going to be there. Maybe I did know, but you beat us to it, and I would love to hear. Is this your first time to Costa Rica or to the project?
Yes, it is. It's our first time out of the country as a couple. I've been out of the country on business, but we had never gone anywhere outside of the U.S. until this trip.
Oh my gosh, but you invested in this Costa Rica project without ever having been there. Why take that kind of risk? Or what inspired you to invest in it?
Well, personally, I go a lot on the people who are involved in the investment, and I was very comfortable with RWN before we jumped in. And then I was very comfortable with David after hearing him present. And so we built the RWN Costa Rica LLC project and have had no regrets.
Oh, wonderful. So now that you're there, is it what you expected?
Increíble.
Incredibly. So much more. It's just absolutely amazing here to watch the community that's here work together, to see the progress that's been made. The gardens are absolutely astounding, and I'm almost speechless. You know, I have not been able to come up with enough words to describe the heaven that actually sits in this little spot here.
We had heard after that everybody was so impressed with the project, and we can just second that now that we're here.
Yeah, we did do a show, a Real Wealth show with about 3 of our members who went, and some brought their families and came back really just blown away like you are. I can't wait to get out there because the last time I was there, it was mostly dirt. And some of the gardens were there, but now there's the Kinkara glamping. So how has that? Is this your first time glamping?
We've been camping, but this is the first time glamping. Kathy, your jaw's going to drop when you get here. I wish I could be here to see you when you arrive. And
Oh,
the glamping is, there's comfortable beds. I love the fact that my tent opens up out into the garden, and when we wake up in the morning, I see somebody out there tilling the soil or planting, collecting something for the meal. It's just amazing.
wow. Awesome. And the outdoor showers, you like those?
I do.
And how about the
Love
how about the food?
Oh, the food is indescribable. Indescribable. Kevin, what would you say? Kevin is not a vegan. He does not eat healthy. So let's hear it from you.
It's really, really good food. And a lot of times you just don't know that you're eating something that's not what you're used to eating, like a meat and potatoes type guy, um, enjoying all the vegetables and the incredible flavors that they've introduced. It's just been an eye-opening experience.
Love it. All right. So anything else you would want to tell? I'm sure we have a lot of investors on the call who haven't been there yet and would love to know from an investor's perspective your thoughts.
Well, the attention to detail is amazing here. And I just have not seen any red flags at all to what's going on with the investment. I'm very happy that we invested in it. And I think the possibilities here are tremendous. There is so much that can be tapped in what they're doing here. And I know Dave's thinking about all these things in the future, and I'm looking forward to an incredible investment over the next few years.
Very, very exciting. And Mary, anything? I know sometimes you've come up to me and said, wow, some of these investments we've done are kind of out of the box for me, and this one must have been. And here, sometimes as a couple, it can be fearful when one spouse wants to do one thing and the other one isn't ready. But I'm not saying that was you, but how do you feel more confident now that you've seen it?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. I can't remember what you called that circle area.
Mandala?
Mandala. I could not even imagine, just looking at that, I could not imagine that what I saw in that picture was real growth in each of those diamonds and spaces. So when I first got here and I saw it, I thought, oh my gosh, this is that circle that I saw, on the computer. And I just marvel at how somebody can design something like that and put in the right flowers for the bees and the butterflies and the hummingbirds, and put it together with the right other kind of agriculture. And I'm very impressed with the way that they have provided the drainage for the property. I've been noticing that, and very impressed with how there's been so much thought put into it.
The people here are absolutely wonderful, and we talk with them into the evening, just exchanging ideas and getting to know about their culture. It's really been a lot of fun.
It is family here, definitely.
Yeah. Is it a place you would ever consider living or having a second home?
We are considering it, actually, but we need to go a little bit further with the project to see how it would work out. How would we be able to afford it, and lots of different aspects. But it's certainly that's one of the things down here, determine whether we're comfortable living.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is part of the whole idea of the community, building a community. Right. That is a lifestyle that the people would not want to just visit. They might want to actually live there, or at least live there part time.
Right, and then the people here, the workers here, they have totally bought into that concept. They consider themselves a family. They do things together. All of the service people have talent of some sort, whether it's music or dance or art, and they bring that to the experience. So we haven't heard it yet, but my understanding is that there are some people who wanted to get together and do some music after one of the meals. So we're looking forward to that.
Awesome. Okay, well, any last comments before we give it back to David?
I would just encourage everybody
Everybody to
come.
sign up.
They won't regret it.
Awesome. Okay, and for those of you who come to our San Mateo events, you'll see Kevin and Mary there almost every time. So if you have more questions when they come back, all tanned and beautiful and healthy from the food, you can ask them all about it. All right, and that tour is March 28th through the 31st. I'm going to be there. Maggie Pike, our director of syndications, will be there, and obviously David and a lot of our investors. So I believe that if the details aren't on the website yet, they will be real soon. We'll kind of go over it later in the presentation. But Kevin and Mary, thank you so much for sharing, for letting us see the property through your eyes.
Our pleasure.
Good, good. All right, David, welcome back.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. So nice to hear from Kevin and Mary. It's been a real treat to have them here, and looking forward to more.
Yeah, so if people cannot make the March 28th tour, how does that work if they happen to be in Costa Rica and they want to come by? Would they just reach out to us at Real Wealth and we'll connect them with you?
That's correct. And then our guest services team will take it away from there, and we offer a deeply discounted rates for investors to come stay with us. And I really enjoyed, Kevin and Mary shared that they were coming down, and I said, why don't you, let's try and coordinate it when I'm there. Because one of the things I really enjoy is taking our investors around the property, because, this is a collective opportunity that we're taking care of. And so we're all partners in this, and just to be able to show that to everybody is a real treat.
Wonderful. Okay, I was just told that the tour details are on the investor portal for this, so you should be able to just log in and get the details for the tour, but I'm sure we'll also be sending out an email shortly on those details. All right, so David, I know a lot of people have already seen the presentation, but let's just go over the highlights again of what this is. There's still an opportunity to invest in the syndication. We are in the phase 2 capital raise for it, which includes building the homes. And we'll be talking about how that works to be a part of the syndication. It means that you would invest in as a partner into the LLC that's building this development. If you are just wanting to possibly live there, own a home there, have a vacation home there, you'll definitely get information from this presentation, but those homes won't be on the market for some time. Well, I don't know. David will go over that if you actually want to own a home. But today's presentation would be for investors looking to invest into the syndication and be kind of basically a partner with the builder and with Real Wealth Network. Okay, so the disclaimer here is that this presentation is not a solicitation or an offer to purchase securities. That offer is only made through the private placement memorandum, which is the paperwork, the written documents, which is important to know that whenever you invest in a syndication, in a development like this, no matter what the presenter says, always go to the paperwork and read that, because that's the agreement you're signing. And again, the strategies here may not be appropriate for everyone. Always consult with your advisors, including your tax advisor and your attorney, to see if it's the right thing for you. And of course, past performance is no guarantee of future results. And real estate is always subject to risk, including economic changes and possible losses. So I just want to make sure no one should ever guarantee you anything, because there is no such thing as a guarantee in investing. But we, of course, look for projects where the risk is minimized. And that's one of the reasons we really like this project, is when David came to us a couple of years ago and told us about his vision. It was just, for one, like, I was completely bought into it. And I hope that we're able to create more of these, and this becomes a little bit more of the way that people live in a community like this, which I really believe is the start of something. And I've come to understand it's what younger generations are wanting. Is just this more community that involves a healthy lifestyle and healthy food and so forth, and healthy connection. Yes, you always want to make sure that you read the PPM and the operating agreement to really understand the deal and if it works for you. Okay, and I think that one of these slides will explain who can invest. It is for accredited investors only. It's a 506C. The SEC only allows accredited investors. We'll explain what that means. That's to invest in the syndication. If you want to buy a home, that's different. Anyone can do that. You just have to be able to qualify and purchase it. But with us is David Comfort. He is the developer of this Rise Costa Rica vision, which is the first of what I think will be many of its kind. He's a California-based developer. He managed development of $300 million in projects in New York and New Jersey. He comes from a real estate developer family, Comfort and Sons. And David, you could tell us a little bit more about that. And we at Real Wealth Network raised $5 million for Phase A, which was to purchase and entitle the property. And now we are raising the second phase for the development. And the team that David has assembled is world class. It's really mind blowing. I ask him all the time, how did you get that person on board? Oh my gosh, these are people that we read about in books, in environmental books, and in construction and architectural books. I mean, it's just really incredible, the team that David has assembled for this project. It is truly world class. So David, you want to tell us a little bit about your family history and your background in development?
Absolutely. Thank you, Kathy. And as Kathy said, my background in real estate development was in New York and New Jersey. My family has been in New York City real estate since 1919. We're coming up on 100 years, or actually, in like 6 months, I think it is. And under the business name George Comfort and Sons, which is started by my great grandfather. So pretty much most everybody in my family has at one point or another worked in real estate, and I really enjoy it. I feel like it's suited to my skill set, and I love the creation of something that did not exist before. And so I've been continuing on that path. And when this project presented itself and this vision, I quickly embraced it. And it's been an amazing journey with RWN and Kathy and their whole team and all these investors. And that's why it's such a treat to have everybody down. With that, I guess I'll dive a little bit into the project. We're gonna talk about basically the project in general, the global tourism industry, specifically wellness tourism, and then the three different phases of this project, and sum up with the opportunity. So when people ask me, like, what is RISE, what is the vision for this project, and I describe it as an innovative, full spectrum, ecologically mindful community that integrates these four key elements. And they're all critically important. A destination wellness resort, a large certified organic farm, which is already in place. We've planted, 15,000 or so trees based on the principles of permaculture. We layer into that a wellness lifestyle focused residential community, and then a village to support with the services that community enjoys. So really it's the integration of all of those elements. And what we see is there are some projects that have one or maybe two of these, but there's no place that I knew of that really combined all four of them, and then developed this project with a strong sense of our ecological footprint. And that's really important to us. Kathy has interviewed one of our architects, Jason McLennan, a while back, and he's a leader in the green building field. And so just to integrate all these pieces and to do it in a place that does not only doesn't harm the planet, but helps to regenerate it. We've already reforested 60 acres on this property as it is, and we're just really getting started. So the RISE project is located in Costa Rica, as you guys all know, and it's a large piece of land that we bought, 800 acres from one of the wealthiest men in Costa Rica, named Don Alberto, who we maintain a very close relationship with. He's actually coming here to lunch with his wife on Friday, his wife Melba, and they are coming to lunch at Concara because they just have heard such amazing things. And so we usually get together with them on almost every trip. It's a short 20-minute flight from San Jose International Airport. That's San Jose, Costa Rica, not to be confused with California. And there are commercial flights into the nearby airport, which is 20 minutes away. And we have our own airstrip, which we use frequently. One of the perks of being close with Don Alberto is we get the use of his planes and his pilots. And that's a really special experience to fly right over the mountains and land in 20 minutes right on the property. And like I said, we've installed the certified organic farm, the gardens, basically the part of the lifeblood of the community, which is what we eat, and combined with the ultra pure water that flows right out of the mountains here, you have the beginnings and the basis for a healthy lifestyle. So we have the four sort of integrated components of RISE. The physical components, but then there's what we call the building blocks of RISE and these foundational elements. And ideally, you know, what we talk about we talk about a shift in how people are living their lives, and with an increased level of mindfulness around what they put in their bodies, how they exercise, how they balance work and leisure. And when we speak towards that, it's really about transformational wellness. And that has been driving a major increase in wellness travel, which we'll get into in a moment, but also in wellness real estate. More and more people are buying their homes and thinking about how this affects their overall health, or how they want to treat their health. A culture of hospitality, curiosity, and education. Hospitality to me is sort of the gift of anticipation, people meeting your need before you even know it exists. And one company that I feel like does that really well over the years is Apple. They seem to make a device that I don't even know I need before I know I even need it. At least I used to. And we like to think of the same way with how we serve, and really this creation of this project as well. We know this need is growing. We know there's demand for it, and it currently doesn't exist. We do this all with like I said, the reverence for the planet, regenerative architecture, permaculture principles, things that align towards a healthy planet, and not just us taking from it. And this sense of community and touching as many lives as possible, I feel like those sort of go hand in hand together. We are really curating a community here, and it's already started to form between the guests that we have here and the staff and team members that we have here. It's just been a beautiful thing to witness. So like I said, we're going to touch a little bit about wellness tourism. It's now a $639 billion industry. It's growing at twice the rate of the global tourism market itself. And those guests tend to spend considerably more than regular tourists. So that opens up opportunities for higher margin services and greater financial opportunities. And so you can already see plenty of large companies. You look at Hyatt bought Miraval. You look at Starwood repositioning themselves around wellness, Amon, Six Senses. The existing large, huge hospitality businesses are realigning themselves around wellness and wellness tourism. So this is not just a fad, it's a shift in how people travel and how they live their lives. And that all that means is just a compelling reason for people to come visit our property, but also to revisit. And I think that's what's most encouraging. we're going to talk about Kinkara a little bit, but the group of 45 people that we had here 3 weeks ago rebooked for April and to come again. So for another week. So that's the kind of experience we want people to have, where it was so off the charts for them, they want to come back immediately. So why did we choose Costa Rica? We really looked around the world, and Costa Rica checked off a lot of important boxes for us. Knowing that a large sector of our market is in the United States, we needed a proximity to the U.S., easy access to the U.S. from major metropolitan areas. And growing actually European inbound travel. There's direct flights from London and Paris and Frankfurt nonstop, and so that business is even growing as well. And when we talk about these boxes, like, I think of tailwinds. You know, when you're developing a new project, you want to have as much wind at your back as possible. And you know, you take the growth in the wellness tourism industry. And then all of these things that Costa Rica checks off for us here, it just makes execution of the project that much easier. And we really think Costa Rica is just the ideal location for us. And then even within the country, where do you select? And that was an important process because we are not right on the coast. We are in a mountain valley about an hour from the coast, and we would not have it any other way. And that's because, for instance, this time of year, it's absolutely gorgeous here. It can be very, very hot along the coast, and not as ideal for long-term living. So this is also a great place to grow plenty of food. So that's why we chose Costa Rica. And once we chose the country, figured out where we wanted to be within the country, we broke the project down into 3 phases. And the first was buying the property and entitling it for what you can do. One of the challenges for doing a project like this in the United States would be zoning. Where can you find a property that you can do commercial, residential, agriculture, a school, all on one piece of property? And so finding a place where we can do that, and then going and getting the entitlements and approvals to do that was an important first step. And that's when RWN first entered the project. We're now in the phase B, residential development, and that's what this investment is focused on. And that will be followed up very closely by the luxury wellness resort, phase C. So since we first closed with RWN, we purchased the property. We got the entitlements rather quickly with support from Don Alberto and the local community. And we've established some really important government relationships here. We've installed a fiber optic network, which may not seem like a big deal in the United States, but for people here, that's pretty rare. And so, you know, having a really fast internet connection is an important item for our future community, as we appeal to a lot of freelancers and that growing workforce that is not tied to an office, but rather a fast internet connection, candidly. We put an operations and management team in place, and we've built Kinkara, which is this luxury glamping site that we're going to get into in a moment, because it serves multiple purposes, and we just want to share a little bit about why that's here and what the experience is like and how it supports the overall project. So with that, here is Kinkara. Kinkara in the local indigenous culture means the beginning, and it's our connection to the Baruka tribe. And our slogan is, "The new path is an ancient one." And so we built Kinkara not only as a place to introduce people to the property and all the wonderful benefits of this area of Costa Rica, but also as our future sales office for our homes. When we have people coming here, we want them to stay on the property. We want them to eat this food. We want them to walk to our waterfalls. We want them to stroll in our gardens, everything here. And so it's an important part of the sales experience. So as we made this decision to build Kinkara, we had that in mind. and also as a way of building up our future guest base for who's going to come to the destination wellness resort. These are actual photos of the property as it exists today. I think when people think of glamping, they have one view, but this is just a whole nother level of luxury. This is El Moren, our yoga pavilion. We had a yoga retreat here not long ago, and they just absolutely loved the experience here. That yoga pavilion is right in the center of our mandala garden, which we'll show you pictures of in a moment. But this is what our tents look like. They're beautiful lotus bell tents. They have, some have single beds, some have double beds, but they're fully furnished with organic linens and solar powered lights and just all the kinds of amenities that you would find in your hotel room, except you get to stay here connected to nature, hear the sounds of nature as you go to sleep and as you wake. These are our bathhouses. This is where you have these outdoor showers, and again, it's just an amazing experience to be in that rain shower and look outside and have the warm air and the water falling down on you. So Kinkara, like I said, was an important first step for us, and we're receiving guests, and we've had some very positive reactions to their experience here. And we've got, even just this week, we have 3 people coming in. One has been here, is a co-founder of a branded experience company, and he's looking to basically rent Kinkara about 15 weeks out of the year. So we just opened, and this guy is just so impressed with what the experience is here. He's looking to do a buyout of that many weeks. Another woman who is the ex-CEO of a company called Bikram Yoga and started her own company, is looking to rent Kinkara for a month, for the entire month of October every year. And so while it had dual roles as being a sales office and an experience, it's gathering a lot of momentum, and we've got another person coming in next week who has similar intentions. So that was phase A. We're at phase B, and it's an exciting time for the project. This is really the residential phase. We've already done some site work, but this first phase is 40 plus signature homes, another 55 micro homes, a community clubhouse, have group meals as well. So we are in the phase B, residential developments, and then that will be shortly followed by phase C, which is the wellness center resort. That will include 56 rooms, another 34 villas, and we expect to basically close on the financing of that in 2019 as well. And that is there to support the overall community, to bring outside guests in, and to have a more, as a global experience where you're not just in Costa Rica, but you have this steady stream of subject matter experts and retreat leaders and guests coming in for everyone to enjoy. So who do we get to pull off something like this? And to me, your partners and consultants are the lifeblood of how to execute a project of this size, and that starts with CM&D. They are our owner's rep and project management firm. They have a San Jose, Costa Rica office. They've executed billions of dollars of real estate development projects. I have a long relationship with Scott Stay, the president, and so they really drive the development from a project management side, design and construction. And then your architects, Blink and Zurcher. Zurcher is certainly the largest and most talented local Costa Rican architectural firm. They built the Four Seasons, or they designed the Four Seasons, the Ondas, and plenty of hospitality experience. And Blink is
we're probably best known for Aman Resorts projects and Banyan Tree and Jumeirah, a lot of amazing hospitality projects and residential residences as well. And I'll just highlight one other in there, Sue Harmsworth, that Kathy has had on her show. She's just an amazing, extraordinary woman who sold her wellness company for 100 million plus English pounds, which is even more in dollars. And so she's been helping to guide the well-being offering throughout not only the wellness resort, but the residences and even in Kinkara. So currently, what you have here is a view of some of the infrastructure that's been underway. This large gravel pad is where the common house goes. The gravel there is really just to control erosion. It's not going to be a big asphalt building pad. And so we've really enjoyed getting started on the residences, putting in the roads, the drainage, and we continue to advance that work. And the design, though, has all been completed for all infrastructure, telecom, potable water, stormwater drainage, is all done and ready to go. So we're excited to keep moving forward. I guess at this point, I wanted to just re-highlight the tour that's coming up with RWN. We did one last year. It was a smashing success, and I can't wait for everybody else to come down here. That garden that Kevin and Mary are talking about there is on the right. That's our mandala garden with the yoga pavilion in between and or in the center, and then we have tents on the surrounding it. And that's really a source of a lot of the food you'll eat when you come here. And there's also experiences, you know, you could go surfing and waterfall hiking, mountain biking, zip lining. Mary and Kevin did that. They did a cloud bridge walk. They really just have been embracing all the experiences that Costa Rica has to offer. I guess we'll dive now into really the investment opportunity and what the terms of that investment. As Kathy said, RWN Costa Rica Investors LLC would be the LLC that you are investing in, and then that LLC then invests in the project. And so the terms between the project and that LLC that is made up of all is 15% preferred return and 45% of the residual profits, assuming the offering is fully subscribed. And that's further broken down at the RWN Costa Rica investors level between the two unit classes, equity investors and private loan. And so we're going to go in a little bit into that, and that you have the option of investing in either the private loan class or the equity class. And we're going to go through some of the differences between the two. I think it's helpful just to understand from an organization's perspective what the structure that this looks like. We're doing business in Costa Rica, so obviously we need a Costa Rican corporation, and that is the company that owns the land and through which we run all the business. The shares of that company are 100% owned by Rise CR, and that is a US-based LLC, and that is the entity into which your guys' LLC invests, RWN Costa Rica LLC. So that Rise CR receives that investment, plus the investors who are non-RWN affiliated, as well as the cash that I've put into the project. And so then the last element is where you can see the priority loan investors and equity investors in the RWN LLC. So let's talk about, I guess, the two differences between the two. The private loan is ideal for those who are investing in an IRA, and in this instance, you are loaning money to RWN Costa Rica Investors LLC, who is then investing in the equity. So it's a simple loan. You're earning a 18% simple interest annual return in exchange for that loan to the company. But I just want to make clear that you are not loaning money to this project, to Rise CR or to the Costa Rican corporation. You are loaning that money to RWN's LLC to then invest in the project. The other class of investment is equity units, and that's a more traditional class of investment that you've probably had in many LLC investments, where you have an ownership interest. The difference between the two is that the private loan, as with most loans, is higher up on the capital stack. So those investors receive their principal and their interest first before any proceeds flow to the equity. So in exchange for that, their return is obviously capped at 18%, which is still a very nice return. The equity units then receive all of the residual cash flow after the private loan units have been paid out. And that's all the residual cash flow that RWN Costa Rica Investors LLC received from the project. And because their money is returned to them after the private loan, the investment horizon is a little longer. But in exchange for being after the private loan, their upside is unlimited. Currently, we project approximately a 25% IRR. There's always some variability within that, and so it's not a hard and fast number. There is just it's a general based on all the projections and assumptions that we made. That's where we think the investment will land. So just to look at what that put that in real terms, a $50,000 investment in the private loan after 24 months would yield $18,000 in interest and a total project return of $68,000 over 2 years. The private, oh, I'm sorry, there's a typo in there. It says private loan. The equity units, a $50,000 contribution would return over 4 years approximately $61,524 in profits for a total return of $111,000. And so those are some of the differences between the two. Lastly, I would like to talk about risks. As with any project, there are risks. In international projects, political risk is one that needs to be highlighted. One of the reasons we chose Costa Rica was for its political stability. And you could see, recently Nicaragua, who has a history of political instability, had that show up again for them late last year. And those are the kinds of things that we look to avoid when you invest in a politically stable country. Delays, there's certainly delays can crop up in any area, permits or financing or construction delays, things like that. And I feel like that's a risk that you mitigate by the team that you put together. And that's the same with the operational risk. This is the first project that I've done outside of the United States. And to mitigate that risk, I brought in a team that I knew was very well experienced in international execution. Competition. Other than the 5-star resort that's about 20 minutes away from here that is owned by the former owner of this property, Don Alberto, there's no competition that I'm aware of that's coming into the area, but it would not surprise me, as this valley is the fastest growing area of Costa Rica, if we would receive some competition at some point. And then currency risk. Traditionally, the US dollar and Costa Rica colon have been relatively stable. In the last, I'd say, 4 or 5 months, the US dollar has appreciated a little bit versus the colon, which is good for us. It makes all the payments that we have to make in colones less expensive. But it's traditionally you want to look for a relationship that's stable in that regard. So lastly, I just want to announce what is a really critical element of the project. I guess saving some of the best for last. We have identified and executed an agreement with a group called Altos Groups to finance 80% of the going forward project costs. Initially, that's this residential phase, so it's $16.4 million that he is contributing, and we will contribute $4 million. But that's the part that is executed, and he is ready to close, and we look forward to closing escrow with not escrow, but closing that deal in the coming couple months. It's a really amazing opportunity. He has invested a lot of money in 2 other projects that our project manager is running. He is the real deal for us, and he is on board to partner up for phase C as well. So it's a really important piece when you talk about the long-term future of the project, to have David and Altos Funds on board. It's amazing, the synchronicity. He lives in Charlotte, North Carolina now, but he used to live in Costa Rica, actually in the same valley where this project is, and he's married to a woman who grew up, a Costa Rican woman who grew up in this very small town where RISE is located. So if you believe in serendipity, there it is. Kathy mentioned earlier about investor suitability standards. That the nature of this investment, being an international real estate investment, is only open to accredited investors. And there's details on Kathy's website about how to go through those suitability checklists. The next steps from here, all the offering documents are on the Real Wealth Network website, and it's a step-by-step process, but at this point, I could open it up to any questions that might be coming through. Kathy?
Okay, let's see. We got a Pura Vida, thank you. Let's see. Will homes in phase 3, if not owner lived in, be rentable for multiple months or for vacation?
Yeah, so I can answer that. We have 2 different, I'd say, residence types. We have the community residences and we have the branded ones. At this moment in time, we are building, this is the residential community investment opportunity. And so these homes will be rentable if you decide to purchase one, but not like Airbnb style. There will be some restrictions, minimum term restrictions, maybe a month or 2 months, something like that. If you are interested in a residence where you may only be there a couple of weeks, the branded residences, which are part of phase C, the resort, those would be for you, because those, not only, you don't have to rent them, they go into the hotel rental pool and are managed by the hotel management company. And so there's a revenue split between you and all the revenue that they come in, so that they bring in. So that would be the most ideal investment if you're looking to do that.
Okay. Please provide details of the micro homes, square footage, having kitchen and baths or not, and the price range.
Yes, so the micro homes, I'm really excited about these. There's just such an opportunity to be innovative in design and efficiency with these homes. We envisioned them and looked at the design of around 550 square feet up to about 800. And believe it or not, you can actually get a really nice 750 to 800 square foot 2-bedroom home. And so that's really the sizing that we would be looking at, and the price range would be about $150,000 to $250,000, somewhere in that range, depending on the size of the home that you're looking to purchase. But we think we're going to have a lot of demand for those micro homes, and they're in a gorgeous area of the property, and so yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, we should build some in Chico. All right, can you go back to the prior slide? Boy, I don't know what slide. Brian, let us know which slide you mean. Maybe it's next steps. Okay. Do investors in the project get special pricing if they want to purchase? Oh, that's a good question, and the answer will probably be the same for any of our land development projects.
So currently we anticipate giving all the investors a priority. So before anything goes to market, we will give all our awesome, amazing, loyal investors a priority pick on whatever home they want. We're not currently anticipating giving pricing discounts, but there will be a priority for those investors.
Yeah, so let me explain why. We get the same question for our Park City homes in Reno and Tampa now, and so as much as we would love to, that would be it would not be fair to the investors who are in the deal because it would mean a discount. So we have to sell the properties at market rate to get the highest IRR for the initial investors who funded the construction. But like you said, David, we would give our investors the first chance to choose which house they'd want to buy, and in early phases as well. Are there specs on the size and prices for the villas and other homes?
So currently we have home designs that run from about 1,700 square feet up to 3,500 square feet. So we have not finalized the exact design, so they're not. It wouldn't be great to share them right now, just in case they change, which I know we always adjust them a little bit here and there. But the sizing is about 1,700 to about 3,500 square feet, and that's basically 2-bedroom up to 5-bedroom in sizing. And as far as the cost of those homes, they're in the neighborhood of, depending on the size, again, 600,000 or so, up to a little over $1 million.
Okay. Let's see. Can we share where we are on the RWN raise so far?
So I think what you're asking is where they are.
How much have we raised? How close are we?
My understanding is that is around 4.6, 4.7 million, somewhere in that range.
Yep. Documents keep coming in.
Right.
And then, of course, we have the. I'm not sure how much you went into our new big investor, but very exciting stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, that is all in the questions. Let's see. Can you show the location on a map of Costa Rica? That is a good question.
That is a great question.
We should have that. We should put that on our next slide or on the website.
I'm gonna try and see if there was one slide. No, that's not going to do it. That's a little too zoomed out. Okay. So what you can do, I'm sorry, is just type in RISE, R-I-S-E, space Costa Rica into Google Maps, and we are on there. You can also type in Kincara, Costa Rica, and we're on there as well. They're both at obviously the same location, but either one into Google Maps will take you to exactly where we are.
All right, wonderful. Okay, and then if you do come on the tour, you would fly into, there we go. You would fly into San Jose, and then there would be, how would that work then from San Jose, that's San Jose, Costa Rica, to the site?
So how we did it last time, which was awesome, is all the RWN investors will be on their own airplane, and you will fly directly onto the RISE property. So it's really the most magical way to arrive here. And so that's how we're going to do it, how we did it last time, and everybody raved about that experience. So we're going to do it again. Like I said, we use our airstrip pretty frequently, and it's a short 20 to 25-minute ride. And depending on the route, you might see incredible waterfalls through the mountains, and it's just quite an experience.
Wonderful. Okay, and at what point will people be able to tie up homes and buy homes?
We're anticipating offering them for sale in 2019. The way we would do that is to, well, after they're offered to investors first, we would have a reservation period, and really that's used to gather names with soft deposits such that when you officially launch sales, let's say you're going to launch by selling 40 homes, you have a list of maybe 50 reservations with deposits, and you convert those. Maybe you convert 20 of them immediately into contracts, and that way, when the person walks in the very next day after you quote unquote launch sales, and they say, "How many contracts have you signed?" You say, "We're half sold," and that's really around generating buzz and executing the absorption of these properties in an efficient way, which obviously is tied to investment return.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you, David. And the hour is up. If you have any more questions, you can reach out to us at syndications@realwealthnetwork.com. If you're not sure how to log in to the Costa Rica page, again, you could just reach out and we'll take care of that. Syndications@realwealthnetwork.com. You would log into the investor portal. And then also after this webinar, we'll send a follow-up email so that you have access. If you're not already invested in the syndication, you have access to those docs. And we will certainly let you know as soon as we have any more exciting news on homes ready to sell, or when we've hit our minimum. Okay, well, enjoy the rest of your stay there, David and Kevin and Mary, and we look forward to seeing you all at one of our next events.
That sounds great, Kathy. Thanks so much, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you, meeting as many as I can at the Real Wealth Network event down here. Thank you.
Yeah, and feel free to jump on a plane to Tampa this weekend. We'll be here Saturday, where all 13 of our single-family property providers will be talking about their markets in the U.S. where you can buy rent-ready properties and have property management in place. Okay, all those details at realwealthnetwork.com. Have a wonderful rest of your week, everyone. Take care. Stay warm. Bye-bye.
Bye.